man to my right, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, on 10 Days in the Valley. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
This is awesome having you sitting here in studio. So we were chatting backstage.
Yeah.
You're from Jersey City, correct?
Yeah,
Jersey City,
I
New
was
Jersey?
born in Jersey City.
Okay.
Yeah, and then my parents split up, moved to California when I was 5.
Yeah.
And then when I booked Cosby around 13, we moved back to New York to shoot that show.
Now, did you test for Cosby show? Is that what
Yeah,
happened? You did
yeah.
like a test and then
Yeah.
like, boom.
I auditioned. Yeah, but it's funny. I was literally the last person they saw. My agent had submitted me early on when they were casting.
Right.
But they were looking for a 6'1", 15-year-old, and I was like 5'5" and 13. So
Okay.
they had, and part of the running joke, because Mr. Cosby's son Ennis was 6'1" and 15.
Right.
So there was I saw one of the original scripts. There's Theo's getting in trouble, and Cliff's like, Theo, stand up. And he stands up, and he's an inch taller than Cliff says, Theo, sit down.
Yeah.
So that was kind of one of the running jokes, but they couldn't cast that guy. And I was literally the last person they saw.
And then, boom, you were hired.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you, Malcolm? I mean, just like you're a kid, and then all of a sudden you were on one of the monster hit television shows in the history of the medium.
Yeah, it was awesome. To be honest,
Yeah.
it was. I mean, growing up in New York, I think helped a great deal because it was obviously a phenomenally successful show, but we were living in New York and not L.A. And had we been in L.A., there would have been just a whole different experience in terms of always being on the soundstage. Your best friends being on, a couple of sound stages down the street. I mean, down the way on the same lot.
Sure.
So this allowed us, we shot in Brooklyn, and there was no commissary in our particular studio. So at lunchtime, we had to walk the neighborhood to get our food. So there was just a different experience being in New York than if we had done that show in L.A.
Oh, I thought you were saying you just went to Mr. Hooper's place on Sesame Street, which is probably shooting it right around the block.
Actually, I did finally make it to Mr. Hooper's place
Did you
at
really?
some point. Yeah.
You just went there and you bought some food
And hung out there. Actually, I directed a couple episodes of Sesame Street.
Come on now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that was a.
What do you mean What do you mean you directed it?
I started out. I started out directing like early on Cosby. So I was actually directing Cosby while we were on.
How old were you?
I was 18.
You were an 18-year-old director.
Yeah, at the time I was the youngest director in the DGA.
Damn.
Yeah. And then a year later, Kirk Cameron got in the DGA, and he became the youngest director.
Okay, so he beat you.
Yeah, but I started directing early on, just doing like my own, just kind of my own little video shoots, because I knew directing was one of the things that I wanted to do to stay consistently active in the business.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. I imagine like Ahmad Rashad was around the set on occasion. Did you know that he was going to propose on that football game?
No,
he did that at
no.
halftime.
None
He
of
got
us
down
knew.
on the knee, and
Yeah.
that was a total surprise to everybody.
Yeah, everybody was surprised.
Everyone was talking about it. That was like a big, huge thing in the sports world at the time, that Ahmad Rashad got down on a knee and then boom.
The pressure. I remember he was sweating too, and he was trying to
Why not?
wipe the sweat, and he had some Kleenex state in his beard.
Right.
He was a nervous wreck.
So are you a New York, do you have New York sports roots or Los Angeles sports roots? What are your sports roots, Malcolm?
Well, in L.A., I grew up on the Lakers.
Okay.
So that was like the Lakers had really been my thing. When I was 6, I proclaimed to my parents that I was either going to be a famous actor, a famous poet, or a famous basketball player, because I had in my head I was going to play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Basketball game's not that great.
Yeah. You just realized early on.
Yeah, I looked great playing, but when I actually got the ball, it was a whole nother story.
So you couldn't go to your left, couldn't go to your right.
No.
So like you went to the script.
Had no hands.
You went to
the script.
You went to the script.
Yes.
And so I guess was that the back end of the Magic Johnson days, or
It was early Magic Johnson days. I had so my mom's boss at the time had season tickets to the game, so he would always give them to her, and my aunt and I would go to the Forum. We'd be like 4 or 5 rows from the court, and then at the end of the game, I would be the kid at the players' entrance trying to get autographs.
Who'd you get?
I've got this huge scrapbook, and I mean, Kurt Rambis, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott. Jamal Wilkes.
What a great shot. He had smooth. He was smooth.
He was smooth, yeah.
Right.
And I got Magic, and I got
Silk.
Kareem. This was after Kareem had stopped signing autographs because he felt kids weren't grateful, they weren't appreciative, and we were there the night he scored his 1,000th NBA point. And after the game, I was at the players' entrance getting autographs, and Kareem came out, and I was like, "Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, can I have your autograph, please?" And he signed my little pad, and I was like, "Thank you." And I was so happy because I knew he didn't sign autographs anymore. So I asked just for the hell of it, and he signed it for me. And I went home and I showed it to my mom, and my mom said to me, "Baby, one day Kareem is gonna know who you are." And I was like, 11, 12 years old, and my mom is saying like, "Yo, mom, yeah."
Sounds like what moms say, yeah.
And I was able, about 6 or 7 years ago, I was able to tell him that story.
What'd he say?
He laughed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or he could have said,
"Who are you?"
He was just in that chair 4 days ago.
Yeah.
He looks great, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So my dad was very active in the civil rights movement. He named me after Malcolm X and Malcolm-Jamal. So any sports figure who really was about social consciousness, my dad had me reading about. So I'd been following. I knew Kareem's life. I knew him from Lou Alcindor days. I knew his host rate playing at Power. So being able to meet him as a kid was really a huge thing for me. And then as an adult, it had even a more profound impact on me when I just realized how much I had been studying this man as a kid.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show. So this new show, 10 Days in the Valley, I had no idea they would ever make a TV show based on how long it takes me and my wife to take my kids to school. But
yeah,
sure
it
enough,
is.
But it's not actually about that. It's something completely different. You and Kira Sedgwick are in this show. Erica Christensen, who is a phenomenal actress as well. What is this show about for those who are keen to tune in on something?
Sure. Well, Kira and I were executive producers of this show within the show, this cop show. And Kira's character gets a lot of information. She has a consultant, and she's getting, all the skinny on the police corruption. And she uses those stories in this cop show that we're producing. Suddenly her daughter goes missing. And now Kira's character needs the help of the cops to find her daughter, but they're not really on friendly terms because she's exposing all of their corruption.
And it's intrigue.
It is, man.
Galore.
Every character on this show turns out to be a suspect. Like, everyone's got secrets. Everyone's got, a dark side that they're hiding. And just as a viewer, it's pretty engaging. Like, I saw the first 8 episodes, and even knowing the script, knowing the story, I was still very intrigued.
And then again, that's 10 Days in the Valley, premiering this Sunday, 10 Eastern on ABC. And Sunday is when, because again, you played Al Cowlings in the FX series.
Yeah.
OJ is getting out.
Yeah.
On Sunday and on Monday. Did you ever meet Al? Did you?
No,
never.
never.
How did you research for that role then?
I gleaned all the information I could off the internet, and really the approach I took was, friendship, and knowing how much OJ meant to Al, all across the board. I mean, his the friendship, the lifestyle, and kind of the kind of relationship of you're always the man sitting next to the man, and you're the man who's in your partner's shadow, but it affords you a certain lifestyle. That's
tough to give up.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a fascinating series. You were great in that. Look forward to 10 Days in the Valley tonight on Sunday, 10 Eastern time. Come back anytime, Mal.
Oh, you got it, Rich.
You got Malcolm-Jamal Warner here on the Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
If you like that video, be sure to download our app. Don't have any memory on your phone? Let's start to delete some of those slow-mo videos you have. And you know which ones I'm talking about.